Look, I want to be very, very, very real here. We've got to be able to understand why a company does what they do, or what they really do. It's just really disappointing that they've come to make decisions that actually endanger a game's reputation. And it really is going to affect the actual publisher. Streaming a reaction. Okay, just hold on. I'm just adjusting my Discord for a bit, so don't mind me. Okay. What Disney has done to the what Sony, sorry, I'm sorry. What Sony has done basically is they doomed their game. And when they doom their game, it won't be for the good. It won't be for the good. It won't be for the good of the developers, because no matter how many times developers change things, the overall picture is if there is a problem with how it is actually being run in the first place, with how it is being shown in the first place, people will call them out for it. How it's being shown and how it is being received. Where so yeah. Reaction. Helldivers. What the fuck is that? My Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, definitely I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna really put it on the header here. Okay? Whenever Sony is involved with something and they screw something up, they keep just denying. They keep denying this shit. Okay? Let's be real about this. They keep denying that they did something wrong. No. You guys have region locked a lot of players unless you want them to actually buy your console. That's your problem. If you want them to buy your console, give them the leeway, give them the incentive to. You can't because you don't want to waste money. You want to keep profiting on this shit. Seriously. Those who were able to get into the game are those that do not. Those who were able to get to the game at this time are those who were able to buy this game from the countries that allow PS5 registration. And right now there's no need for a PS5 registration because you reversed it. But during the PS5 registration debacle, you region locked everyone who cannot actually get a PlayStation Network account, and then you reversed your PS5, your PlayStation Network integration, and then you made sure that the entire thing is still region locked. What do you call that? A bait and switch. You definitely just call that a bait and switch. What I have here is a video called Helldivers 2 posts big numbers where the F is Sony. Where the fuck is Sony? I'm not afraid to say it. I just want to make sure that I don't say it too often. Okay? It's just I'm not being monetized on YouTube, but I do want to really speak my mind on this. Why does a good publisher like Sony want to just ruin the day for gamers? Because they don't like gamers, they only speak to monetary value. And before we get into it, I am just going to show you guys the QR code, the link. Actually, you already see the video. You already see where the video is, all right? I'm not gonna even bother to post the. You already know where it is. This is on YouTube right now. This is from Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear. Helldivers 2 posts big numbers, and where the fuck is Sony? Basically, that's the video. I'm not going to have anyone complain about this because you have ample description. You have an ample idea on what the title and description is. Now, if you search for this video, then it's not on YouTube anymore. It means the YouTube gods have decided to actually listen to the false reportings of Sony and copy strike the hell out of Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear. In which case, we are going to rage quit because someone is telling the truth about what the fuck Sony is doing. Alright? I fucking hate Sony. I wanted to play this game. I was trying to defend them on a lot of things because they hosted the PlayStation. They hosted the console PlayStation. I played a lot of their games on the PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 as well. But they have problems with their security as soon as they got online. The PS4 and PS5, I did not even bother to get it because there are just problems with online features. And since the PlayStation Network is always getting hacked, why should I bother? And now this just proves my point. Helldivers 2 is still inaccessible to Filipinos who want to actually play Helldivers 2. What did they think was going to happen? Of course the reception was going to be like this. Of course the weak reception would be like this. Okay, let me just give you the numbers, okay? Steamcharts.com, Helldivers 2. Okay, I'm just going to search it for you so that you have an idea that this game is on a steep fucking decline. It is on a decline. Continuous decline. If only they made this game so much better. Look, there was even a cover for this song. There was even a music cover for this song. Supposedly that this is actually a great game to begin with. It was ruined by publishers who just want to not include everybody. Seriously, they're buying your game and you're gonna region lock the hell out of them. You stole their fucking money. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna keep saying it again and again until I have to. You've got to hate Sony. Because what they're doing is stealing your money. And if they are not gonna steal your money and you didn't actually buy Helldivers 2 and you want to buy Helldivers 2, they're stealing your opportunity to actually buy this game if you're in a region locked area. Basically, it comes to a point that they're restricting you. As someone who just wants to test out their products, right? No, they don't want to test out their products. They want you to give them $1. Well, fuck Helldivers. Well, fuck Helldivers too. If this is how they're going to treat its player base. If this is how they're going to treat their potential customers. This is their potential customers they're talking about here. Anyway, we're going to see how this game is still relevant, even if it's on a fucking decline. It is on a decline.
It's getting interesting in the land of Helldivers because in anticipation for the next content drop, there's some articles popping up with some bold topics and thoughts on all of it, which I don't quite agree with, at least not all of it. Welcome to the channel. This is Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear, and we are checking in with the Galactic Map as we've got some good news going on over there. An interesting escalation of freedom byline, so stay tuned for that one. Game rant being game rant, plus face it, Helldivers, you just don't understand the game. Not my words there, by the way, but a bit of a jab at the player base from another site. Plus, yeah, we've got even more. Where the fuck is Sony and what's going on with the delisting debacle?
Exactly! They have been entirely silent ever since they maintained their region lock, even with the PlayStation Network integration removal. They have been entirely silent on this. They never gave feedback. They never gave a response to all the feedback that was supposedly, okay? Like, I'm not even going to speak any further. You already know where the fuck this is going, okay? They are not going to give a damn as to what is happening.
Full slate for today. Remember to hit subscribe. It's free and it really helps out the channel. And while you're at it, ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Let's check out what's going down with Helldivers. Okay, in case you missed it the first half dozen times, maybe because you didn't have the super creds, today's Superstore are the Viper Commando offerings, including the PH-56 Jaguar medium armor with peak physique, which is actually kind of good now, as it increases melee damage, which is not so good, but it also improves weapon handling, turning massive stratagem weapons into assault rifles in terms of handling. There's also the PH-56 helmet with beret and sniper.
Whoa,
The
those are
CE
good.
101 Guerrilla Gorilla helmet, and the super beefy, I'm wearing a fridge on my chest, CE 101 heavy body armor with engineering kit for reduced recoil and +2 throwables. Onwards to the galactic map, and the divers crushed yet another major order, and we seem to be on a bit of a hot streak as of late, right? 1 billion bugs is the latest major order to test our might, and we prevailed yet again, and the reward medals have arrived. Now, as of the posting of this video, there is no new major order, but it's the weekend, and it might be a little extra delayed. Who knows? Along with our glorious victory, we received yet another interesting dispatch from Helldivers HQ. The Helldivers have demonstrated a commitment to scientific progress, equaled only by their fervor for democratic supremacy. Thanks to their efforts, the Ministry of Science has ample data to further ongoing Terminid research efforts. While no clear method of termination has proved to produce more E710 than any other, our top scientists agree that establishing this beyond doubt was well worth the expenditure. However, with the large quantities of data gathered, one new finding did emerge. Rather than appearing randomly, as expected, Terminid mutations decreased in frequency as proximity to super-Earth increased. It appears that genetic variants are perpetuating from deep within Terminid space. The explanation for this new phenomenon is unknown, and more investigation.
They're in for a wrecking ball
Is that
of an experience from the Terminids.
Once whatever this new major order goes live, and it looks like the Helldivers are already taking it upon themselves to hold the automatons at bay. Consulting the ever-knowing, all-wise Helldivers companion app, and Copesa 4 is edging ever so close to full liberation, which is good to see after Game Master Joel brought it back into the fold with a full-scale bot invasion. Istanu, how many times have we fought it out on this planet? I've lost track at this point, but anyways, despite a -2% modifier, Istanu is also close to full liberation. After that, there are small negative modifiers of -0.45%, which I've never seen, for example, on Vandalon 4. And finally, if you're chasing more medals, today's daily is to net 100 kills with the Eagle strafing run, which is not my favorite, but against the bugs, you should be able to complete this one in a mission, maybe 2. Anyways, finish it up and grab those 15 medals. Of course, I had this one done and nearly uploaded when the new major order went live, and you're going to want to know about this one. So I made the executive decision to pull down this video, add in the new info, and here we are reposting. So here it all is, divers, the latest major order. The automaton forces remain split in two. We must maintain the offensive momentum. However, the automatons have devised a new means by which to retain their stolen territory. Orbital cannons now stand across automaton territories, firing on our fleet and seeking to challenge our aerial superiority. The orbital cannons are targeting SEAF air forces, extending extraction times. That's key. Pay attention to that. Fortunately, we have identified a weakness in the cannons' targeting systems. The cannons rely on an interconnected system spread across multiple planets. Liberating one automaton planet will destabilize the entire system, allowing temporary return to normal extraction time.
Look, this is something that is actually good about the changing battlegrounds, especially if it's actually coming from online. This is something that the players actually like to do, to really just stand on updates. As long as the content itself keeps recreating itself. It just depends on the nature. But overall, people, like normal people, casual people, just like these types of things. The changing atmosphere according to how the times actually go. That's the good thing about this. The briefings, the major order briefings are always changing. Like there's a story behind it, behind the Helldivers lore. All right, this is Helldivers 2 for Pete's sake. A great game, one that I never got to play. I wanted to play this, but nope. Sony Sony just wants to actually make it a fucking problem for us.
As it recalibrates. Furthermore, if 2 automaton planets are liberated in short succession within 12 hours of each other, the array will be severely destabilized, allowing shorter extraction times for the remainder of this order. Every day the automaton occupation continues, another of our citizens' dreams are stolen. The Helldivers must deliver justice. And here we go, unscripted, just taking a very quick look at it all. This is a 6-day major order worth 55 medals, 5 planets liberated over in Botsville. They want us to go after Wazat, Wezin, Ustatu, Vega Bay, and Varelia 5, which, by the way, will take us over right next to X45, and I guess from there we might be able to launch further east or upwards onto the map and go after Cyberstan. So that's what's going on with this current major order. We're back to the bots, like I thought. 6 days, 5 planets, 55 medals as the reward. We're going to be hitting the real meat and potatoes of this video in just a moment, but why not kick it off with a bit of the insane? And this Reddit pic kind of says it all. Oh, almighty RNG God, tell me why. And all I can say is hold on to your butts, divers, because 3 gunship factories back to back to back is just going to get really messy. Now, I've got to say that I love seeing things like this happen. Not for this player. I mean, their world is about to get turned upside down, but more just how random this game can be sometimes. Stalker layers right next to extraction, meteor showers, bug breaches, I mean, you name it. This game will throw it at you. If this DBRS 1988 ever sees this video, let us know how it all turned out.
Oh my God.
To take all 3 of these down, because we've got questions. Who knew the possibility of new Helldivers 2 content outside of War Bonds could be this damn popular? Well, that's the question Video Gamer asks, and if they hadn't have mentioned it or asked it, I would have never paid it any attention. It's just one of the pitfalls of juggling a bunch of different games all at once.
You know, I just like to actually just skip to the... I just want to actually... I'm going to skip to the next one, okay? I'm just going to skip to the next one. The content of the game is actually great. It's ever-changing. It's not repetitive, which I actually love about this. And I want to actually try and discuss it with others, but nope. I don't have any friends who actually plays Helldivers 2. I can't play Helldivers 2 because I can't buy it because I'm from the Philippines. Sony is just a bunch of racist fucks who just live behind a desk. Really, it's just... I really hate it, okay? Look, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to do what I got to do and just... yeah.
Okay, let's talk boosters, and Game Rant ran with this headline a few days ago. Helldivers 2 boosters face a permanent tightrope act. And this one starts off kind of generic, explaining how Helldivers implements boosters and how they add another unique element to the gameplay, and then...
No, this is related to the game. I think we're okay. Just... complaints? Really?
It's time to admit it, Helldivers, a lot of you just don't understand this game. And Fandom Wire starts to go after some of the complaints and lack of knowledge of how Helldivers 2 is played, and their article is aimed at you, the players, just so you know. Now, everything here is based on a Reddit post by Slama Llama. Wild name there, by the way.
Well.
And to paraphrase them quite a bit here, Llama calls out these players who constantly complain about spore maps, they complain about low-vis planets, jammers, and gunships, even complaining about how barbed wire deals them damage. And each time they don't like the effects, and each time they don't like the results of these mechanics, the players call it bad game design, and that it's just not fun. Now, Llama spells out quite a bit here, like I said, but this last little paragraph here I just want to read kind of sums it all up. It's a war game, fellas. A war game where one of the central pillars of the story is that Helldivers are expendable meatbags who frequently die horrible deaths. Yes, I get that there's a lot of jank, glitches, and enemies that need nerfing and rebalancing. Spewers are too quiet, heavy devs have broken aiming, etc. But those are separate issues from this. What y'all are doing is calling for the removal of tons of intentional design because it's quote-unquote isn't fun. which will turn the game into just another shooter in a sea of lackluster, boring, identity-less shooters that no one remembers.
Wow. This guy has played a lot. This guy actually, I can really tell that this guy has actually played a lot of Helldivers 2 and tried to analyze everything that he's been doing, like from the beginning. Everything about his gameplay. Okay, this guy is experienced on this. Holy shit. I get that some of the casual players can do complaints because the surface level problems there are when it comes to the rebalancing of hostiles coming at the Helldivers at all, and even the maps as well. But there is something related to the atmosphere that casual players do not get. The casual players do not usually get. Wow. So there is some degree, there is actually a big degree of truth here. Because if the design is, if most of the design in the gameplay and the assets in the game are actually intentional, and as well as the AI responses to the Helldivers, it is actually, it's unique in its own way. So thank goodness it is still good. Too bad I can't play this game because I'm from the Philippines and I don't have a PS5. Fuck you, Sony. People are having a lot of fun with this game, but where is Sony going to actually make an intervention? No, they're not going to make an intervention at all. They just care about the money that's coming from countries that allow PlayStation Network integration. Even if you reverse PlayStation Network integration, fuck you, bait and switch Sony, weirdos and weebs behind a desk. You're nothing. Fuck you.
Can I just say that Llama knows what the hell they're talking about? Case closed, and as always, links to these Reddit posts and articles can be found in the video description. And now this is me just kind of venting a bit, getting a few things off my chest. I don't have a script for this. And this is concerning Arrowhead and Sony. Mostly Sony, but you know, Arrowhead is not an innocent party here. Now, we all remember what happened back in early May, and if it feels like a decade ago, that's because in the world of gaming, it was. Now, every day I check in on the Helldivers commercial license, which you can publicly view for updates on steamdb.info, and every day there's no progress. We get nothing, but we've got no news on this from the Arrowhead comms team. And at this point, it's still sitting at around 170 countries and regions that cannot purchase Helldivers 2 because Sony has restricted them after the PSN account login requirement was suspended. And to be clear, because...
Oh my god. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Did they follow the advice that... Hold on. There is something I gotta check. Okay? There's something I gotta check about this. Steam info.db. We're gonna have to find this out. Hold on. SteamDB. Yeah. Helldivers 2. Yeah, I am human. I am just, okay. I'm going to turn on the VPN. Okay. I'm going to turn on the VPN. Or the Chrome VPN for this, and I want to see how it's really being viewed. Everywhere that is actually, we are going to actually look at this. Okay, we're actually going to look at this. Screw what the Filipinos are actually viewing. They need to view the truth. They need to view the actual fucking truth about this. Store.steampower.com. I'm going to find out if Helldivers 2 is really being given a very, very big negative review. Wait. What? Why didn't it go down? Are you shitting me right now? Guys, what the hell are you guys doing? This is not supposed to be like this. It's on very positive. You know, somebody's been planting a lot of positive reviews. Okay, hold on. Let me just get the relevant ones. Okay? Let's try to look at the most helpful shit. What Sony did was straight. This is on June 28th. You know what? They deceived everyone. They made it to where you don't need a PSN account to play the game. Good, right? Wrong. What they didn't tell you is that they straight up banned the game in all the countries that can't access PSN. Exactly. They only told everyone half the truth so they can get their audience to change the review back to positive. And no one even bothered to change it to negative because of the bullshittery of Sony. The studio lacks leadership and vision. Listen, the things that I've showed you, the player count, even though players are enjoying the hell out of this, people are just leaving in droves. They are leaving in droves. Why? Their interest in the game is waning because of all the shit that they've been seeing about what Disney has done to the game, about what Sony has done to the game. It's actual proof. Look, all the data that's actually being shown on the number of active players, and at the same time, which territories can access this game and which cannot. It's actual proof to incoming players, supposedly, potentially incoming players. It is proof to them that Sony does not give a fuck about who plays their games. No. Let me rephrase that. Sony gives a damn fuck who plays their games and restricts everyone to a standard in which they are required to actually log into their services. But they have a reputation in which they don't have the best security. They keep really being silent about this. They are always silent about this. And that's the fear. That's the fear casual players have. That's why the new incoming casual players who ignore all the problems that Sony has, they don't see this shit. And then it will become apparently clear to them when they actually search the news. They don't watch the news, which is good. You shouldn't actually care about too much about the news when it comes to playing your favorite game, right? That's actually okay. But the thing is, current events actually affect how a company operates. Sony is corporate. Always has been corporate. Helldivers 2 would always be screwed over. That's inevitable, guys. That is actually inevitable. Always has been inevitable. They will change policy to make sure they ruin a game. And they've ruined a game so much that they've given new players and current players the proof that they need to actually slowly leave the game. Those who were able to even access this game here, those who were able to at least play it still on Steam, they're already seeing this 458,208 all-time peak, right? A drop of 20%. Then from 437,000, a drop to 34. From 125, a drop of 54. Half! From a month, it's more than half! Losses of players! 91,000, 36% lost. It is unbelievably bad. There are no gains being met on every month that Helldivers 2 was being made available. And because of the fucking debacle, this is happening. What Sony has done is incredibly worse. Incredibly worse. They still deny that this is something that, and they still deny that this is something that they can control. They still deny that this is something that they cannot control. Okay, hold on. Wait. Let me just rephrase that. What they are denying is that, what they're denying is the control. They can control it. They're lying to everyone, basically. Okay? If more of the current player base does not see that and they just entirely leave, Sony will not do anything. So if you're actually playing Helldivers 2, and I'm not, and listen, just listen to someone who's not able to play Helldivers 2 from the Philippines, okay? Let me just make it very, very clear. I love this game the more it updates itself. There are some rebalancing issues, sure. But there is a good design to this game that definitely developers are keeping into heart over this. Now, regardless of what the problems is, the bugs and the glitches and stuff like that, regardless of how it happens and why, if you are a player of Helldivers 2, I want you to be very, very responsible with how you're actually given feedback. The feedback you should actually give should be related to how the game is being received everywhere else. Not just with the small things in the game, but everything when it comes to reception, everything when it comes to the messaging of the publisher. If you're going to give a review about this game, give those different perspectives, please. I realize that a publisher can initiate all types of scumbaggery. That even I can believe for myself now that they can't change. They will never change unless their own constituents, their own player base, actually yells at them to actually change the things they should. Okay? Let's be very clear about this. Sony needs to change a lot of things when it comes to their games needing integration or not. Basically, what they're doing is an exclusivity deal for a certain region, for a certain region, and then not something that blocks out everyone else. This is something that they love. Okay, why did you have to do them dirty like this? Still, I'm going to keep saying it, Sony. Not going to give you personally a fucking cent of any of your other products. Go fuck yourself, Sony.
I want to cut through all the noise. This doesn't mean that players from those affected countries and those affected regions that own the game prior to the restrictions cannot play their current game. Now, since that ban, we've seen Johan demote himself to Chief Creative Officer. Who knows, he probably needed a break. We also got a new CEO, Shams Georgiani. Yeah, he joined the team. And the hope was, at least for me, that amongst all of his other duties, having Shams kind of trained in and zeroed in on this Sony PSN target, there could be some meaningful progress made here. But here we are, nearly into August. No news from Sony, no updates from Arrowhead, and a large portion of planet Earth cut off from purchasing the game because Sony couldn't decide how to best keep their heads out of their asses.
Because all they care about is money. You see, guys, this is what you guys don't see. This is what you guys do not actually see from corpos. Corporate scum like this should be wiped out from the face of the earth, but they're the only ones who can actually change the game for the better. But since they're not changing the game, we're actually being given more reason to actually wipe them off the face of the earth. This is why crimes happen. This is why things happen to bad people. And at this moment, the bad people are the people who are actually obvious. Look, I'm not a nut job, okay? I don't want to solve this by violence, but at the same time, how powerless do you have to be as a player for you to actually ignore all the bigger things here? You need to look at the bigger picture. It's not just about the game. It's about how it's received, and it's about how it's distributed. It's never just about the game. It's about what other people think at the same time. Okay? That's why your reviews are important. Give this fucking game a massive downvote just like before. Please. If anyone from other countries, from countries who actually can buy this game, if you guys are listening to this, please give your own bad review. Give your own negative review on this. And you will make a difference here. It made a difference before when a lot of players have initiated a mass downvote because of the PlayStation Network integration. Because a lot of countries can't access PlayStation networks. They can't make accounts. They then ban countries who don't have PSN integration. They ban countries who cannot access the PlayStation networks, and then they actually remove the PSN integration to fool us into believing that they're changing their ways. The problem is, those who are waiting to actually play this game still haven't played the game. But I'm going to say it once again. Fuck Sony. I'm going to keep saying it again and again if I have to. Fuck Sony, you keep ruining my day. You always keep ruining everyone else's day.
Now, since we covered quite a...
Sony, we're not idiots here. Either do something, or the chairs will be flying in your office windows, and the pitchforks will be thrown in to the office grounds, and the torches would start burning your fucking carpets, burning your tables, burning your flammable your wooden chip. Oh my god. I want the whole enchilada burning to the ground.
A few gaming sites today, it's important to circle back around to them as well, because they've all moved on from the story. It apparently lost the intensity. It apparently lost all interest, and away they went chasing the latest fad. The thing is, this should be a weekly or daily post. I mean, how does a game that exceeded 12 million units sold in its first 12 weeks, and oh, by the way, it's the #1 fastest selling Sony game of all time, how does that game get restricted across almost 2/3 of the planet by its very publisher, Sony? And yet, here we are, almost 3 months after it all went down, and there's no progress that's been made on this matter. How is that not page one material across every single site? If you've seen...
Because they're trying to cover it all up. They're basically trying to cover it all up because they wanted the big game. They wanted games like this to succeed. This game is not even remotely bad, except for the bugs and the glitches. And they want to make sure they capitalize on all the profit they've made from the people they stole this game from. Look, let's just be honest about this. They just like to screw everyone else just to actually have their way. They're going to drive their customers away for this. What the fuck is their logic here?
Any of my previous Helldivers content, you know I love this game. I love the mechanics. I love squatting up. I love the quirks this game has baked in. But enough is enough. This thing needs to get sorted out, and sorted out now. And before I read some of the comments, but Buzz, you just gotta let Arrowhead and Sony cook. Okay, it's been almost 3 months. I mean, what the hell are they cooking here, if anything? Or is that the plan? Just to kind of let it stay status quo and wait for the story to eventually evaporate.
Wait for the story to eventually evaporate? I want to burn Sony now! I want to burn Sony now if there are people actually in Sony who actually thought that we would actually forget. I want them to burn for this. Burn to its entirety, to ashes, until nothing from them is left. They think we're all idiots here. They think we're all idiots here. This is them insulting us, the player base. This is them insulting the gamers everywhere. That's what I don't like about this. They're going to keep watching from high atop their buildings, right? You're going to keep watching high atop their own buildings, looking down at the ants. Looking down at the ants who are feeding on their bread, okay? This is what they do. They only get what is necessary from the ants. What is necessary, and they did not give them more. All they had to do was refine the bread a little bit. But no, they denied them the bread to the ant. That's the fucking analogy here. All the ants are doing is trying to better the game by playing their game. But nope. All Sony is doing is screwing everyone just so they can make a point that Sony is not to be fucked with, even if Sony is doing the wrong things possible. Well, fuck you, Sony. Go fuck yourself. Look, you guys can just watch the video that's actually concerned about this. I still have no belief that Sony is going to change this. I still have that little glimmer of hope that they can still make Helldivers 2 accessible. But that is fading the moment I see that around only 1,000 players daily just play this game. I'm going to lose all hope for this game the moment the months pass, and then we've come to a point that only 1,000 players daily are just interested in this game because they've driven your fucking customers away. They've driven their customers away because of their inconsiderate acts against consumers. That's all they've done in regards to Helldivers 2. That is why their shit is problematic from the beginning. It's because they don't give a single good advantage to consumers in the long run. They don't. Do you expect a corporate suit company to do so? No, you shouldn't. Your expectations should not even be that fucking high. What a fucking surprise.